Steve.
Hey.
So nice to meet you. Thank you so much for being here. I want to start this interview a little differently. I want to tell you how I discovered your music.
Okay.
So, if that's cool for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Great, great. So, when I was a lot younger, I listened to a lot of. I was all about rock music. You know, like Green Day and Sum 41, Billy Talent. Still love this kind of music, and I discovered you and your music through Linkin Park. Obviously,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
that was such a great song.
A Light That Never Comes.
The Light That Never Comes, yeah. And I'm such a big Linkin Park fan, and I'm such a big Steve Aoki fan now. And I wanna, can you tell us something about the song? How did it all? Did Linkin Park approach you, or how did that happen?
Yeah, so long ago. It might be Mike hit me up. Mike Shinoda hit me up, and then we started talking, and we had a pretty big idea to do an album. So we worked on a ton of music.
So a whole album with Linkin Park.
I mean, it was like a collaborative project. It was, I wouldn't say an album. We're trying to do a collaborative project of music.
Cool.
So we worked on some ideas, and A Light That Never Comes was one that kind of formed before the other ones, and then we were like, you know what? Let's just release this song, and then they released their album of remixes, and that was their feature song on the album. So
right.
yeah, that was the first song that we released together. Then we later on, a year after that, I think a year or two after that, we released Darker Than Blood as another song that we wrote and produced together. But I love working with those guys. You know, obviously, you know, rest in peace to Chester, one of my favorite singers of all time, and just such an incredible guy.
Yeah.
You know, so honored to have worked with him on music and just been a friend. You know, so I love Linkin Park. You know, even way before I started working with them, I was a mega fan. And yeah, it's one of those like big moments of my life to work with them.
Sure. And on behalf of all the Linkin Park fans around the world, I want to thank you for the One More Light remix. You did that.
Thank you.
So beautiful, and it was so emotional and touching. And
that's probably one of my favorite things is in my set is when I see fans singing along to the song. So I'm like, okay, you know, because when you see you know, an Aoki fan out there in the crowd, or like an EDM fan in the crowd that's belting out Chester's lyrics on One More Light when I drop the song, I'm like, you know, it's like it's a moment for sure.
For sure. Now, preparing for this interview was a lot of fun because I got to see a movie. Obviously, your movie on Netflix.
Okay.
And the first time, well, actually, I just rewatched it 2 days ago. A friend of mine who is all about metal music. So he doesn't like, no offense, he doesn't like DJ sound and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he watched your movie on Netflix, and he said to me, "You need to see this. This guy's amazing." And I said, okay, that's let's do it. Let's give this a shot. And I watched it, and it turns out, yeah, it is an amazing movie. Now, long story short, here's my question. What does this say about you and your music, that a guy who almost exclusively listens to metal says, this guy's amazing, his music is amazing?
I'm wowed by that, because I mean, it's not like watching a 5-minute trailer. Like, it's a long movie, you know? So, you know, I mean, for someone to have the retention to watch an entire documentary on me is already, you know, it doesn't matter where you come from. I'm grateful, you know, that someone's willing to do that. So yeah, for someone outside of my space watching it, it's even more exciting because, you know, it's this documentary is meant to not necessarily be about EDM. You know, if you really like, when you finish watching the doc, it's less to do about EDM music. It's more to do just about, you know, my favorite thing from the takeaway from that doc is that there is a story that's similar that I think a lot of people can relate to, whether it's with your parents or whether it's with a work ethic, whatever you do. Doesn't matter if it's music, even if it's like something else in life. I think we all kind of have this, you know, this undying need to try to get our parents' approval.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
whether we like it or we don't
Yeah.
like it, it's I think it's like part of us.
You want to
So,
make them proud.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like whether you don't even realize it, you know.
Mm.
And I think that story is a universal quality. You know, doesn't matter where you come from.
It's not too much about the music. It's about you. It's about your journey. But also you have a like a punk rock background.
Yeah.
What was the band called? I forgot the name.
This machine kills.
Yeah, I think it
yeah.
was that. Yeah, and I mean you could be in a punk rock band, but you
Yeah,
chose
yeah.
to be a DJ.
Yeah. I started, you know, playing guitar and
Right.
screaming into a microphone. You know, we all start in different places. My journey started there. My journey started with a Tascam 4-track recorder in my bedroom, and excited to record my guitar riffs and my vocals. But yeah, we all start somewhere, you know.
Sure.
And you know, your friend that listens to metal, I'm sure the bands he likes, probably a similarity of the bands I liked as well. So
Really?
yeah.
Like, what is one band you like, and we would not expect Steve Aoki to like this band?
I grew up listening to straight edge hardcore, so a lot of the bands in that genre, like whether it's Youth of Today, Minor Threat, Gorilla Biscuits,
Okay.
or even more punk, political bands like Born Against or Tragedy. You know, those are like the bands that you listen to.
Sure.
So, yeah, and then like all across the board. I mean, my label Dimmach, before I was a DJ, I was putting out bands.
Right.
You know, from Block Party, The Kills, and more indie bands like that. And I've had so many bands play in my actual living room space when I was in college.
That's so cool.
So yeah, I that was my world. My world was
Yeah.
more like rock, was live guitars and live music in that world, and then you know, slowly migrated over to
Turntables.
DJing and producing electronic music.
Now that Netflix thing, did they approach you? Did they say, "Hey, want to do a movie together?" Or how did that happen?
That was so these guys made a film called Jiro Dreams of Sushi. It's a documentary about a sushi chef in Japan, and I'm not sure who connected with who, whether my management talked to them or they talked to my management, but they jumped on board. They're like, "Hey, we want to shoot you and travel with you for a bit." And, you know, we're like, let's do it. Let's have some fun. Let's go on the road and let's see what happens. And they started shooting, and, you know, 3 years later, we're still making the movie.
That's great.
And then Netflix got wind of it, heard it, and wanted it and bought it, and the rest is history.
And here we are today. One of my favorite quotes of the movie is that your father, Rocky, he was like the first one in America to combine entertainment and cooking.
Right.
And now, seeing you on stage, you're pretty much doing the same thing. You're performing your music, but you're also entertaining.
Right.
So I was wondering, what is harder, doing the music or being what is harder, being a DJ or being an entertainer?
I think the entertaining part is what identifies me differently from other artists. So whenever I think about, you know, I didn't think about doing the entertaining until I got to a big stage. When I was playing in small rooms and small clubs and bars, wherever I was playing, you don't think about entertaining because you don't have the space to do that. But when I got to play festivals, when I got that stage, I was like, all right, I got to think differently. I got to think about, you know, now it's not just like I'm winging it, playing whatever music on the fly. I'm going to be putting together a set. Like a band. Like I like thought of my set like I did when I was in bands. And this is the songs that I'm gonna play, and this is my remix, and this is my new song I'm gonna debut. And with this song I wanna do this act. So I thought about songs as acts.
Sure. You
know, and moments. And how to identify the song with a performance or some sort of like moment in the set. And then when that happened was at Coachella. This is like, you know, almost 10 years ago. And then I started thinking about what can I do that's different from other artists. So that's when I started thinking about so cake was one idea.
Sure.
And it lasted the test of time. I've been caking people since, you know, 2011. So 7 years later, here we are. And I come up with different ideas, and some last, some don't really make the the cutoff, some do, and you just keep doing it.
Yeah. One of my favorite scenes from the movie is you performing Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
One of the biggest festivals
Yeah, of course.
in Europe, probably the biggest EDM festival in Europe.
In the world.
In the world,
Yeah.
probably, yeah, sure. And now, today here at the Energy office in Austria, we're doing things a little smaller. It's a much more private show. Now, I was wondering, when they told you you're going to do a show in Austria for 50 people,
Yeah.
what was your reaction? You're like, really? Or what was going on in your mind?
Wait, this show right here?
This show right here, yeah.
I just found out this morning, so.
No, really?
I mean, they probably told me, but the thing is, my schedule, my life moves so fast.
Yeah.
You don't understand. Like, it's like every day there's a full agenda of stuff to do.
Okay.
So they're like, oh yeah, you're playing. Actually, I didn't even know I was playing in front of people till I walked in here.
Oh
so.
my God. That's crazy.
I thought that at first it was just a DJ set for the radio station.
Okay,
but
sure.
I didn't realize it was there's people here. So
Okay.
yeah,
So
I'm kind of like.
now you know it. What do you think about it now?
Well, I mean, I put together a set in my car,
cool.
in the car here, because it was a short set. So,
Right.
and honestly, doing a short set is very difficult.
Yeah.
Because I have to selectively pick what I'm gonna play, and I'm not playing like my old school hits. I'm just gonna be playing my latest singles, my album Colony. I'm thinking about people listening in their cars or at home. More so than the crowd, but now I have a crowd, so
You have to think about the crowd as well.
well, I mean, my set is a turn-up set. It's a fun set.
Okay.
It's a banger set.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so I mean, like it's gonna make people jump. That's the intention.
It's gonna make me jump for sure.
Yeah.